This is a nice little classroom activity when you're studying domains, and you could give them this function and say, what is the domain of this function? So to do this, we know, to start out, we know whatever's under this square root, the radicand, that's got to be greater than or equal to 0. So we take 1 minus the square root of 2 minus x. This has to be greater than or equal to 0. All right, so now we got to solve this. So when I move this to the other side, we get the square root is less than 1. So let me write that as the square root is less than 1. Now keep in mind, if what's under this square root is bigger than 1, well then the square root of that whole thing is going to be bigger than 1, yeah? So this has to be the radicand, the actual 2 minus x. This has to be less than or equal to 1. And likewise, it's got to be greater than or equal to 0 because it's a square root and we don't want negative numbers. So now we solve this. When I subtract 2 from all three parts, we get negative x. These are repeated. Subtract 2, we get negative 2 and negative 1. And when we multiply by a negative, we reverse the inequalities, 2 and 1. And this is the same thing as this right here. So the domain of this square root function is x has to be between 1 and 2 inclusively.